Welcome everyone to our first PCA Live in a little while. We have a lot of people on this panel and some really exciting stuff coming up. Scott, if you want to introduce everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron. Scott Pierce here, Executive Director of the Premium Cigar Association. Aaron, head of our marketing, communications, and membership, kicked us off here today. And then everybody should know Joshua Habersky because he's everywhere all at once. Head of Government Affairs, Wolf of K Street. So joining us today, this is a little bit interesting. So Josh is going to be a little bit on the other end of this. Josh is not going to be doing the interviewing. He's going to get interviewed here. So with us as well is Luciano. I'm going to try to say this as best as I can. Luciano Mel Reyes. How was that?
That sounds fair.
Fair? Fair? Man, I was hoping for perfect. All right. So that's a mix of my Spanish and French trying to pronounce that last name. Luciano, of course, is the founder and head of Ace Prime Cigars, made at the Pichardo factory, which you can see that beautiful logo and crest there on his chest. Down in Nicaragua, makers of some very fantastic cigars. One of my favorites is that. There you go, right there. Perfect. And then we've got from Luxury Cigar, Ben and Chris. You all are retailers out of Arizona and are involved in somewhat of this special project that we're going to talk about today in a really great and interesting way. That's really doing a lot to help the industry and to help PCA. So this is going to be fun. So stick with this, folks, because we're going to kind of go through a fun story here about this project of this El Politico cigar, all the way from the brainchild from Josh into the creation of it with Luciano and down to kind of the promulgation of it out through Luxury Cigar. And then obviously we're going to let everybody know where they can get the cigar. So Josh, let's start with you. You've been at PCA now for a few years, and you told me a story about a professor, and that kind of was what got you into cigars, really, and kind of even this thought of El Politico, of where you wanted to go with this cigar. So tell everybody about the story of why you wanted to have El Politico, where that came from, and kind of the purpose of where you started with this idea.
Absolutely. So, I've been smoking cigars for over a decade now, and it really started when I was in college. My professor and head of our political science department at Washington and Jefferson, Dr. Joseph DeSaro, who's still a mentor and friend of mine, he would have people every Friday or Saturday go and smoke cigars and talk politics. And I originally, as an undergraduate student, wanted to be a political science professor. I wanted to live in his legacy and take that on. And the love of cigars and the passion for that, plus politics and government, kind of came together. And, I reached out to Luciano about going to Nicaragua. Luciano has always been a friend and a mentor, somebody that has taught me a lot about cigar making, from farming to rolling to blending and all of the above. And I'm fascinated about his level of knowledge. And we had talked a couple times about making a trip. So over COVID, I went to Nicaragua for 10 days, and Luciano hosted me, took me to different factories. And I said, I want to have a cigar that's like my signature, my calling card, my business card. Is that something that we could put together? And he's like, I got some ideas. I sent him over like 3 of the top blends and top cigars that I liked. I'm like, can we do something that combines all of these? And he had some stuff ready to go when I was there in Nicaragua. I was the most exciting feeling ever. And we sampled them. I'm going to turn it over to Luciano on this one. He had a cast of characters, like all these high up in all the different cigar companies in Nicaragua, come for a party testing this cigar. And I was like so nervous. I'm sweating bullets. I don't speak Spanish. I'm like, I hope they're not talking crap on the cigar because I really like it. And Luciano, take it from there.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I mean, again, blending is always something very, very fun. And having Josh hosting him here and coming up with that challenge was kind of cool too. Like he said, "Oh, I like this. Can you make something better?" That's kind of So I invited a couple manufacturers, actually, some of them that he mentioned that he likes the cigars, and said, try this out. So if they liked it, so I guess it was better. So very, very exciting to have you here, Josh. I think I have good memories of our time at the farms, and and you seeing a little bit of our work here and spending time at the factory. I think we had a great time, and the product's definitely something that we are very proud of.
Yeah. So that's interesting, right? You get some good blind taste testing, a good focus group that can actually, hey, I like this cigar. And again, to your point, Luciano, these are people that Josh obviously, smoke their cigars and enjoys those product lines, and so feels like he got a good winner. So Josh gave it to me. I'm not an expert, so I don't think Josh would have listened to me anyway, because our palates are pretty divergent actually. But he explained it to me, and I lit it up, and on first draw, I was like, okay, I think you guys got a good winner here. It's very good, because I think it's one of those blends to where, while it might hit Josh's palate and where Josh wants it, it's one of those that's not so overly in one direction that it's going to turn off another audience, right? It's got enough of a balance and blend there with body and spice that I think it hits everybody's palate, and I think everybody should try it just for that mere fact that it's actually one of those more unique blends that does that. There's not a ton of cigars out there that I think that really can kind of do that with the amount of body and flavor profile that this has.
When it originally, when we were first putting this concept together, and this is where Ben and Chris come in, this was supposed to be a business card. I ordered 2,000 of them to, give to elected officials that I meet. It's under the gift rules, so I can do that. People that when I would go to, if you go to retail lounges, and Scott, you and I have gone on 100 visits, I think, every year that I've been here to brick and mortar retail stores in the United States. They always give me their house blend, and it's on the house. It's a gift. It's like, thank you for coming. And I wanted to be able to reciprocate. Here's something that of mine that I really enjoy. So that's what we really started this project as. And then, so I got these 2,000 cigars. We're lugging them in Las Vegas. They were literally delivered to the trade show. And Luciano gave them to me. I know that we started giving them to a few of the media people, and the positive feedback kept coming in there. But even before that, at the show itself, of giving it to people that, we knew and respected and wanted to get their opinion, I had just gotten the cigars. I went over, was with Glenn Loop and Ryan on our government affairs team, and we went over to Casa Fuente to get the Shark cigar, the Fuente Shark cigar, which we had. That was our first cigar. And I had this bundle of 25 El Politico, and I lit one up, and over next to me, Chris was like, what's that cigar? And he didn't know who I was, or I didn't know who he was. We just started striking up a conversation, much like you do in any cigar lounge. And it's a testament to the power of the trade show, of sheer networking,
right.
Even outside of hours. But I'll let Chris kind of tell this story.
Can't hear you.
Oh, I think you might be muted or...
Wait. Can you hear me?
There we go.
Sorry. We were, I was at Casa Fuente with some friends having cigars like you do before the show starts, right? You go smoke cigars and hang out. And, Josh came in suited and booted, as it appears he always is, with some other people. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. And, I'm a t-shirt kind of guy. So, sitting there smoking, and I see he's holding this bundle of cigars, and they're, really dark, sexy wrapper. And I'm like, I'll just ask. I'm like, what's that, man? Right. And like, I have no shame. I'm like, can I have one? And he's like, yeah, man. Like, let me tell you what it's about. He told me about, El Politico and Luciano made it, and how it's there to support PCA and function as his kind of business card. And I was like, you know what, man, I got to talk to Ben, right? My business partner, Ben, but I think there's something that we can do here, because I'm smoking it. I really like it. And I think we can easily get behind and put a positive messaging on industry support and things like that together behind the cigar. And that's something that I think Ben and I are really, really big on, is working, together as an industry that's under attack so often from, public perception, legislation, health, all of these things. It's like, this is a great way for the industry to come together, have a whole lot of fun making it, smoking it, selling it.
Yeah.
And, do something cool for our members here at Luxury Cigar Club.
And so, Chris, you're kind of leading into it. what are you doing? What I think some of us know, but I don't know that a lot of people know exactly what you are doing.
Maybe it's a secret. I don't know.
Oh, is it?
Are we allowed to tell the secret then? Can we spill?
Yeah, of course.
We've never done this ever before, but so El Politico is going to ship to all of our members in our club. And when I say we've never done this before, we've never told people a cigar they're going to receive before they receive it. Huh?
Never.
Wow, look at that.
Literally
First time
never.
here.
This would be
Coming
the
out
first
hot.
time ever. So El Politico will go to all of the Luxury Cigar Club members over the next month and a half or so. And 50 cents of every cigar is being donated to the PCA to help support the fight that's there. We have QR codes included in all of our boxes, kind of giving a brief description of what the story is of PCA and this cigar specifically. And we're basically doing a call to action to all of our members saying, listen, there's money going in. Luxury Cigar Club is going to donate money also. Luciano and Josh and PCA are contributing money out of each sale to support. And so we're asking you as the consumer, the one that benefits at the end from all of this hard work, to make a little donation and support as well. So that's, Josh, when you said earlier before we started, you're like, we're hoping you're going to reorder. We're going to have to reorder because basically all that we order are getting shipped here in the next month or so.
Yeah,
so
and it's exciting, and I think that Chris and Ben are very modest when they say this. Like that interaction at the trade show, I remember telling, and I think I called Luciano, and then when we saw each other at the show afterwards, I was so excited because, again, like before you made mention of like, hey, I want 3,000 cigars or an allotment of cigars, we weren't really going to take this to market. It was going to be kind of, all right, here's this cigar. You know, this is a gift. I want you to try this. This is what my taste profile is. And when you really were at the foundation of this, of making it into something where we can support PCA as an organization through the sales. And that's why, you know, we're excited to launch with luxury and have the ability to send it to the members, and people will be able to purchase it at your brick and mortar shop. And I know that with the product hub and that, it's going to be the domino effect, and hopefully we're able to get a lot of sales for this because, you know, again, any sale of El Politico, there's a contribution going to the Premium Cigar Association.
Yeah,
And so Josh, that's kind of a good lead into it. Can you talk a little bit about what's going to be available on the product hub? Just explain it a little bit. And
I think Luciano is probably the best one for that question.
So what is about the cigar, right? I think when we have campaigns like that, where we gather support, sometimes people tend to think that the cigar is just an average cigar. We're just doing this for a fundraiser. It's not the case here. This is definitely something that was not just put a lot of love, but very, very good tobacco. So we have high prime Mexican wrapper, which is really hard to find in the market today. So it was specially selected for this project. So we have a very kind of rare Costa Rican binder that we use in this cigar. That we are very proud to be one of the few factories that really have control of that tobacco, and we are, of course, using the tobacco in this blend. And every single tobacco that it's in the fillers are tobaccos that we grow here in Nicaragua. So they're extremely well aged. The cigar is ready to smoke. So I believe that anyone who experienced the cigar will just be very impacted by, you know, with all the modesty aside.
Yeah.
I'm giving all the credit to the tobacco. See.
Yeah.
Well, I have to add, Ben and I made a trip to Nicaragua not too long ago, and we were able to visit Luciano at his factory there. I was actually sicker than Ben was most of the time, so Ben spent a lot more time with Luciano than I did. But the quality in the factory that he's got there, the people he's got working, and the tobacco he's working with, it makes perfect sense to me why the cigar tastes the way that it does. This is a great cigar. I mean, if there was no El Politico band on it, if it was not to support a good cause, I would still buy and smoke this cigar.
It's a
Right. This is something we would still want to ship to our members because the cigar on its own is amazing.
Yeah.
And if you know Luciano just a little bit and his work and some of the cigars that he makes, you know that mostly if you know him as a person, you know everything he does is full of intention. He's a very positive he does things with no shortcuts.
Yeah.
He's deliberate. That's what I
very
use to describe
deliberate.
him. He's very
Exactly.
deliberate.
That's the word I was looking for. And he's very modest too. We love that. But the thing that we were trying to shine light on is PCA. So PCA, of course, in the industry, everybody knows what PCA is, if you know, and what it does for us. But as far as the end consumer, it is not a household name. It is not something that people even know. It's like the man behind the curtain to some degree, with the amount of God's work that the organization does, and it needs support, and it needs some kind of publicity, maybe not like the NRA does, but to some degree, just so people know. And if they do want to support, and if they do know what the organization does, they have a way to do it. So by doing this and by putting the little, and it's a small seed, right? It's 50 cents off every cigar. It's not going to change the operations. It's not going to change much, but at least if we can start and send it out and send the message to a few thousand people, just to see that, maybe it piques their curiosity. Maybe they talk about it a little bit. Maybe they talk about the cigar, how freaking awesome it is, and their friends want to try it. The only way to do it is by supporting the organization. The only way to grow us is by making, and by us I mean the organization, is by spreading the word out.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's interesting about the story when you're talking, Josh, and how it was just meant to be this, and how it's kind of grown, it kind of reminded me. So not to go too far back or off topic here, but I was a big Rush music fan, right, growing up and everything, right? And their most famous hit, which is Tom Sawyer, the whole story behind that is just a keyboard riff that their lead singer, Geddy Lee, just used to play for like sound checks. And somebody said, you know what, you really ought to use that. And so he did. And then this became Tom Sawyer as their biggest hit. So your story here about, oh, this is just something I liked. I wanted to have it this way, do it this way. But then, Ben and Chris come along and they're like, man, you got something here. And there's something larger. So when this kind of all started happening, what this led to was a conversation that you had with myself and with Luciano, and talking about the product hub. And so for anybody that doesn't know, for retailers that don't know, one of the benefits of membership in the Premium Cigar Association is access to this new product hub that we launched last year. And we've been trying to grow it as products have been available. I think everybody knows that there's been some challenges. Good problem to have, that a lot of people, it's in high demand. But basically what it is that usually about once a month or so, we have a product or two or three that comes on the product hub that you can get to and log into the membership portal. And it's either a special deal, or it's a limited release, or it's an exclusive cigar. And there's a donation on every purchase that comes back to the PCA. And so as Josh was looking at this and the work that Ben and Chris had done with luxury and what they all wanted to do, I'll just say it inspired Josh potentially, and had the conversation with Luciano that they wanted to launch El Politico on the product hub and have it available to other brick and mortar retailers. And that Josh, if you want to kind of go from there about, the donation back to PCA and kind of the hope and then the, and if you, Luciano, as well, about expected ship dates. And we've talked about it a little bit, but also maybe just some of the flavor profiles or kind of that kind of thing that retailers can expect.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one other thing that I want to make a point on is that, I got to see firsthand experience, as a staff person of PCA, how PCA can work on the business side and the networking side, completely removed from the government affairs side. And like, to me, that was really impactful. Also learning the different processes and what our associate members, as well as what our retail members have to go through. And like, I can go into these meetings and say, I paid the user fees. I've had to deal with, box production and stuff like that, and get the biggest impact that I had. And Luciano just hit a home run with the original blend. And it was like, there's no question. This is the one. I was like, when I first smoked it, I'm like, I want this. Don't give it to anybody else. I mean, like this is perfect. We tweak the size a little bit, because I generally smoke quickly, and I wanted something presentation worthy. So that was the only change that we made in Nicaragua. And then I was involved with Luciano on the band design. And then on the inside, like I said, it was a business card. So every one of them says presented by Joshua Habersky on the inside of the band. So it is still that business card. It never deviated from its original purpose. But with the product hub, we want to see this grow. This is something that, again, organically took shape. Ben and Chris were at the foreground of making this into a product that is being able to be sold to folks in their shop. And we want to give the opportunity to other PCA members through the product hub to also sell those. And I know that we're finalizing the box, and Luciano can talk a little bit more about ship times and the deals with El Politico.
Yeah, so we had an agreement with Luxury Cigar Club that they'll have like the 6 months of exclusivity because of their support. And by the way, I like to highlight whatever you want to call it. I call the spiritual aspect of any project, because this became so organic in every possible sense. Was Josh coming here? It's the idea, the fact that we had time to move into this project, and the fact that what were the odds that you will meet these guys at Fuente Lounge, and then some of them will come to you and ask for the cigar, And it happened to be Chris from Luxury Cigar Club, and then Ben. I mean, this is we all know that it was meant to be. So that excites me a lot when I see that happening, because nothing's forced, everything is natural, everything comes naturally, and it's very exciting. When it comes to ship dates, so we'll be start shipping the boxes probably in 2 weeks. We have the boxes, some of the boxes already manufactured. There are some more coming, but they will be available into the brick and mortar, as far as I understand, probably I would say 3-4 months from now, or maybe earlier. I don't know. It's up to you, Josh, up to PCA, but I think that's the idea.
I think our goal for this is that we're the product hub. It will be open in April. People will be able to place their orders, brick and mortar, and they'll likely ship in June, so that people can get them before this year's trade show. And Luciano and I have a few other tricks up our sleeve for a different size. We won't get too much into that, but we got
spoiler, man. Spoiler right there.
That's why you need to tune in to PCA. Look at all the hit we're dropping, right? We're dropping.
We're already working.
Luxury knows it. Different size Politico. So starting tomorrow, this is not an April Fool's joke. Starting tomorrow, El Politico will be available on the product hub all throughout April, through April 30th, and then it will go away. So how it works, just for anybody who hasn't done it, you're not paying anything when you order. This is just simply a commitment for a number of boxes, up to a certain amount that's allowed per person, per membership, actually. Once that's done, PCA will gather that, and then we'll send that along. And then a representative will contact you once the portal closes for the month, and then we'll finalize details with you, making sure that is the amount of boxes that you do in fact want, and then we'll finalize the details. So no payment to PCA, just sending along a commitment for boxes. You will finalize and submit payment directly to the manufacturer.
Yep. And with that, the 50 cents per stick, that's something that's indefinitely for El Politico, and any new potential sizes, which I won't talk about. But for that, Luciano and I are committed to, obviously the organization. And again, I'm so excited when I first got the bundles in Vegas, and for people to see a cigar that I was involved in and enjoy it, and having folks like Chris and Ben that are well respected retailers, and then other manufacturers, and even elected officials. Yesterday I got a picture from a U.S. Senator staff director who was smoking in El Politico, and I'm like, man, this has really come full circle, and it's a blessing to be a part of this with all of the folks that are here today.
All right, Ben, Chris, where can everybody find you in your store so that anybody that's listening, if they're ever out in the Great Southwest and want to come find you, or the Luxury Cigar Club, where can they find you guys?
He's pointing to me. We're pretty easy to find. If you just Google Luxury Cigar Club, you'll find all of our info. But our store is just outside of Sedona, Arizona. So if you're ever in the area, come by. We're 10 minutes away from the gorgeous Red Rocks. We got a nice little comfy lounge here. And you can also check us out online, luxurycigarclub.com. I think we're shipping to 48 countries right now, actually.
Nice.
Outstanding.
So we're really grateful to be part of this. It encourages me to just ask for more free cigars in the long run is really what it's done. But it's an amazing cigar. I'm maybe on my 7th or 8th one since we received our shipment. Just like last week, I think we got them in. Quality control. I've smoked 3 of Ben's allotment also. So everything's good. Everything's great here.
It's a test of true friendship. So Luciano, in the spirit of spoilers and announcing things, does Ace Prime or Pichardo want to announce anything that you want to announce to the world right here, right now for us? Not to put you on the spot.
Wow. PCA special. PCA special will be sent tomorrow.
Yes.
From Ace Prime.
All right. Fantastic.
So we have that coming out.
I tell you what,
special.
The Sergeant, that Sergeant, you guys knocked that one out of the park too. I love that cigar. The size, it's beautiful. So I can't wait to see what you guys are doing this year.
Sergeant and Fiat Lux, you guys are the dreamer. You guys, I mean, Pichardo is putting out just fireballs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Perfect. All right. Well, everybody, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you, Josh, Luciano, Ben, Chris, Aaron. El Politico, starting tomorrow, please get that again. Donations back to PCA that are going right back into fighting for brick and mortar retailers. It's an outstanding cigar. I think any palate, any of your customers are going to love the cigar, and especially love the story that's behind it and what it's for. And so, Luciano, Josh, thank you very much for the cigar. Ben, Chris, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to Josh and kind of putting this idea together and everything else. And I think this is going to be a great initiative that's actually going to lead to a lot of other great initiatives to help the industry.
One final thing, Scott. I know that on Luxury Cigar Club, for folks that are tuning in, I think there's a limited quantity that's available on their website, so folks can snatch those up. And then I also have to give a shout out to Todd Nafee out in Oklahoma City and Jay Davis. They were also at the foreground of this, and they will be getting some pre-release boxes of cigars too, as the people that were involved. And I'm really big on people that are at it on the ground floor when it's not this big successful idea. So that's why, again, I wanted to thank Ben and Chris for being the first, but also Todd and Jay for, stepping up and being part of this journey of El Politico.
Yeah, outstanding. Oh, well, on that note, I hope everybody goes and enjoys a wonderful cigar or 3 or 4 at your local lounge and tobacconist. And I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. And, I'll see you all here in just a few months. Hopefully some of you sooner rather than later. Hopefully I'll be in Arizona in just another month or 2. But, yeah, we'll all be together. The family's all getting back together again in Vegas. So we'll see you all soon.
Very soon.
Take care, guys.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.